It's time to get this thing started. Fools. All of you. Fools, all of you. It's time to get this thing started. Fools. All of you.
Hello everyone and welcome to Glory Roll, Geeks of Glory's D&D game. My name is Rillian. I am joined by my co-pilot, Geekling number 3 tonight, because, well, he's just being fussy and has to be held for some reason. It'll be fun. Anyway, we are venturing back into our game of Dungeons & Dragons, and first, I guess, I should introduce our cast for today. Here we have, to my left, playing Emmerich Sidar, Pennell. To the left of my left, playing Ronan, we have Temeraire. And to my right, we have Orini playing Mistral. And we are one player short tonight, but he should be back in future sessions, but he could not make it tonight. But we will press on. I'll just DMPC his character for a little while.
He's quiet. He's a little quiet.
He'll be a little quieter than normal. We'll hear a little less from the dwarf as we move forward. But anyway, during the last session, what went on is our characters tracked down the suppliers to... Exactly. Tracked down the suppliers for Melvin's General Goods, or what appear to be the suppliers, and have jumped them, attacked them without probable cause, and started interrogating the people on board. They have found nothing aboard the wagon, and after interrogating one of the people on board, they have unceremoniously hauled off one named Tim, and we're about to start questioning him. Unfortunately, then we got interrupted by our food delivery, which had come wrong and late, so we had to move on. Either way, that's where we sit. What are you guys doing?
So, right at the end, we're kind of still out on the outskirts of town.
Yes. On a main highway.
And Tim was the...
Where you just attacked a wagon.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So you know people have seen you do this.
Mm-hmm. Do we know that?
You should.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to wrap my brain. Why do we attack?
The problem with it being 2 weeks between when we actually meet for sessions.
Well, we attacked because they were getting away. And we were trying to follow them. I mean, that's not really a real reason to attack.
Yeah, I'm still not sure why you guys did.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Especially on the main highway in and out of town, or one of the main ones.
We were just really curious.
I'm sure we can think of a good reason. They tried to run us over, maybe. Or something.
Mm-hmm.
They kidnapped me.
Oh, that's right. You were in the back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good reason. Yeah, okay, we'll stick with that. If anyone asks, that's what we'll say.
Luckily, it's after dark, so traffic here is at a minimum, but it's very possible you guys were seen doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, well, Tim was not the leader, correct? Was he the shifter, right? Didn't
No,
he have a
he
shifter?
was not the shifter.
The shifter is still alive, and he was, being like...
You attempted to question him, but he started fanging out.
Yeah.
He was frenzied.
Yep.
A little bit. You critical failed with that pacifier.
Yeah, so let's take Tim off to the side, and I guess we'll see what he knows. We know that there's a factory, or whatever, warehouse, that we can go and investigate also. Someone else.
Shall we investigate the warehouse? What is our situation in terms of people, loose ends from last time? Do we still have this guy to deal with? What are we going to do with him?
You have one guy tied up in the back that's awake right now that you were just questioning. You've got Tim that you've just hauled off to the side. And then you've got the shifter that's also unconscious. And one dead body.
And they're
Okay.
all roped up, right?
Except the dead guy.
Well, yeah.
Whose phone is still on?
Mine, I have a timer going.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull Tim aside, and I'm gonna say, "What do you know?"
He just kind of flops there.
Is he unconscious?
Yes, I told you he was
Oh.
unconscious. These guys pay great attention when I
thought-
give them descriptions.
I thought we woke him up already.
No.
Can I raid his pockets for shiny things?
Sure, you can check his pockets.
Wait, does it,
I-
do I need to roll for that? Or?
Yeah, just give me a die roll. I'm not sure what we'd add to it. You're frisking him. We'll just see how
That's-
lucky you are,
it's a
essentially.
19. She frisked him.
Okay, yeah.
First, I'm good.
you frisked him good. Unfortunately, Tim does not have too much. He's got some coin in his pocket. You probably got the equivalent of about 3 silver in mostly copper. He's got a small little pocket knife. And he's also got, let's see, what else? Types of things would Tim have? He has a harmonica.
Oh,
Tim's got a harmonica.
okay. Is it shiny?
Yes.
Okay,
Little
I'm
little
gonna
dinged
take-
up and stuff. But.
I'm gonna take his harmonica.
Okay, you took Tim's harmonica. Wow.
Make sure you write that down. That could be important.
I am writing it down.
Is his last name Finnegan?
The reason I keep saying it is Tim is that's what the name the guy in the back gave to you, and he doesn't seem like the most reliable source for names.
Gotcha.
Well, I'll try to wake him up a little. Just a little splash of water or a slap on the face. Or something.
Okay, you managed to wake him up.
I'm gonna give him a minute to kind of catch his bearings. After he wakes up, maybe not a minute, half a minute. And then I'm gonna say, "What do you know?"
Oh, that your breath stinks, that's what I know.
Does it stink?
I don't know, roll for it. We'll find
I
out.
don't know. All right, 2.
Yep, it stinks.
All right, that's fair. Okay. Well, what else do you know besides that, which is unrelated?
That my head hurts.
Yes. Keep going.
Is this your first time doing this kind of thing?
Where were you going? Where were you coming from? Why did you kidnap my friend?
We didn't kidnap nobody. We don't do kidnapping.
That's not what it looked like to me.
Then you're pretty blind.
Where were you going?
Doesn't matter.
Does. You're still alive, so I think it does matter.
Are you trying to threaten him?
Sure, yeah.
Give me an intimidation check.
I hope you have high charisma.
I don't have low charisma.
So optimistic.
It's almost as good.
That was an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
Then what are you gonna do about it?
What? Kill you, essentially.
I bet you haven't killed anyone in your life.
Do you see that guy behind me? I'm gonna point to the dead one.
Yeah.
Guess what he said to me when I was questioning him? The same thing. He said the same thing.
You didn't question him. And you don't scare me.
I'm gonna give him a backhand
Okay.
across the face. This doesn't have to go this way. Just tell me what I want to know, and
And what?
I'll let you live.
Shit. You're not gonna kill me anyway.
I'm gonna neutral over.
You just saying that out in the air? Just, I'm gonna
No,
call
he's-
Mistral over.
Well, no, like I'm gonna like
Gesture.
gesture her over, and as she's coming over, before she makes it, I'll say, "You're right. I might not kill you, but she may," and I'll say it loud enough so that he can hear as she's coming over.
Okay.
Do I hear him?
Number one rule of D&D: don't ask the DM if you have to roll for something.
I didn't ask.
You essentially are. Oh, you're finally falling asleep.
Story time is working.
Yeah, apparently. You get
I'm just
so...
banging his harmonica mercilessly on the ground. Maybe he's attached to it, and that'll get some leverage. You never know.
Hey! What you doing with that?
I'm just gonna continue banging it on the ground.
Ah, dirty bird.
Ah!
Okay. Come over. Is this guy sitting down? Standing? He's
Ish.
tied up, right?
He's tied up, so he's not standing.
Okay.
I imagine he's either like leaning against a wheel or is lying on the ground as Sidar here is standing over top of him, slapping him. Just open hand slapping.
Yeah, that was a backhand though, so that hurts a little more.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay. I'm gonna push Sidar over here out of the way. Or Emmerich.
Mm-hmm.
Master Sidar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gently nudge him out of the way. And sit down on the guy's lap.
Okay.
Pin him down with my quarterstaff.
Okay.
I'm gonna say... Okay, you have two choices. You can either tell me what I want to hear, or I could use this quarterstaff against your head.
You roll me an intimidate.
14?
Shit. You and that toothpick couldn't do anything.
Honey, I'm a girl that gets what she wants. And if you're not going to give it to me, well, I'm just going to have to take it from you.
Oh, I'll give it to you.
What?
Okay.
Do I need to roll?
No,
a
he
hit?
has 1 hit point.
Okay.
Unlike the last guy that you tried to knock back out, you hadn't shoved a healing potion down this guy's throat.
That's true.
So, no, he crumples back up pretty easily. Anyway, now what are you going to do? You now have 3 unconscious bodies on a main highway.
Let's throw them in the back of the wagon. Put the tarp over it, fix the wagon, and GTFO!
Okay, that's a good idea.
Oh, that's right. You guys blew up one of the wheels.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to do that then.
You're going to try to fix the wagon.
Huh?
How?
Is there a spare tire?
No.
On the...
On the wagon?
Yeah. Alright. I mean, yeah. How badly is it broken?
I'm trying to remember how you guys broke it. Wasn't it a magic missile to break it?
Yes.
It shattered.
So it's basically only on 3 wheels.
Yes.
Okay.
It can still move on 3 wheels. Not well, but it can still move on 3 wheels.
Yeah, we load it all into the opposite corner of the wheel that's missing.
Weight distribution.
Yeah. I can do out some calculations if you want.
No.
To see if we get the CG far enough over so that it tips it up on the 3 wheels. Maybe that would work.
If your hands were free from this wrap right now, I'd take one of them and use it to slap him.
We can still drag it, right? Like even with a, I feel like we could.
Yeah, you guys can drag it. You can get it to move. It's not gonna move well.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got like a metal on stone scraping sound as you're driving it down this highway.
Is that productive? Do you think we really should bother with the wagon?
Well, I mean, we have 3 bodies that we have to move somehow.
4.
4? Oh, well, the
dead guy.
Too, yeah.
Oh.
I can try to carry 2 of them, and our dwarf friend could probably carry 1 of them, maybe.
Drag him.
We could
Hey,
drag them.
why don't we just throw him into the bush?
You can do that with the dead guy. He's not waking up.
We can do it with any of them. We can make sure none of them wake up. I'm trying to do his impression of a Scottish accent.
Let's move the wagon off the side of the road.
Turn on the 4-way flashers and leave a note for the cops that says "Gone for a spare." Don't tow.
I'll leave the note. I can do that at least since I can write.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Gone for spare. Sorry. Not sorry.
I really got to stop giving you guys ideas.
What are we gonna do with these bodies? They're not bodies, they're people. So
We're gonna start
Right now,
utilizing-
baby.
Let's see if they wake up. We still don't know where we're going.
well, wasn't the one guy gonna show us where the warehouse was? The first one? I mean, I thought that's what I remembered. Do I remember that correctly? Okay. I mean, he was nicer than the first guy. The second guy. Has anyone like?
Do.
Yeah. Oh man.
At this point, you hear the sounds of hoofbeats,
Uh-oh.
metal horseshoes on the road.
Coming from the town? That like come from that direction or?
They're moving fast.
Did the bodies get thrown in the back? Throw them in the back.
They're
Cover
in
it up.
They're in the yes, that's where they are. We at least got that. We at least got that far, and then we were gonna move the wagon, but we couldn't. So we put the bodies in the back of the wagon and covered them up.
Okay. And right about this time, a horseman goes speeding past you from the direction of the town, heading out.
Doesn't
Just
stop
keeps going.
or anything.
Just keeps going.
What's the horseman look like?
He's all dressed up in official garb.
Is he a guard?
You recognize the outfit as one of a messenger. These guys are made for moving messages fast.
Gotcha.
They can go into any town, in any inn, or at any stable and swap horses. They can command a quick swap just that fast,
Like the
so
Pony
that they can
Express.
keep going. Pretty much.
Okay.
So where is he going to? He's leaving the town?
He's leaving the town.
I don't think we should call him up. Call him to come over. He's probably gone by now, anyways.
Yeah, he's.
Okay.
We can unlatch one of these horses and take off.
I think that's a good idea.
How many?
The one horse?
There's only
Yeah.
one horse? I thought there were
Yes.
2.
No.
Oh. The one horse wagon.
And
Mhm.
we all can't. I mean, we all can't ride on the horse.
It's a smaller wagon so that it can fit through the streets in the town. You saw some 2-horse ones moving around in town, but they had to stick to the main streets. They couldn't go into the back alleys or anything. This one's a delivery wagon, essentially.
I want to pull up the quest glass
Okay.
and just look at it. Is anything different on it?
See the scales just sitting there kind of bouncing back and forth a little bit, but still with the goods being way lighter than they should be.
What are we supposed to do?
Doesn't change.
Is there torches or anything around us?
There's a couple of lamps hanging from the wagon.
Okay, because that's pretty much the only light I have to see.
Mhm. Yeah, I think me too.
Yeah, I'm just not a nocturnal bird, so I can see just as well as anyone else, I guess.
Oh man.
How much longer you got on that timer?
3 minutes.
Just thinking when we stop for that, I can put this one down.
Mhm.
Heavy. Anyway. So what's the game plan?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, someone has to go back to town to get a wheel. So we can't just leave this here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll
Okay.
do that. I'll go do that.
I think should we all stick together? Maybe?
And leave.
And leave the dead, well, not the dead people, the unconscious people and the dead people.
How much would a wheel cost?
Not that much. Couple silver, maybe, at most.
Okay.
I have
I'm
a couple of silver off of that
I'm gonna give him 2 gold for the wheel. Just in case.
Okay. So is everyone gonna stay here and I'm gonna go get it? Is
Yes.
that
I'm gonna stay with Arini.
okay? I'm gonna run back into town then, and look for any place that's open. It's nighttime, I believe, right? So,
Mhm. Well past the hour when businesses are open.
are there any that have their lights on?
No. I mean, there may be lights on, but it's deeper in the shops type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the time of night to be wheel shopping.
Unless we're to steal one. That could be.
Well, I mean, inns are open, right? They don't close.
Sure. Some of the bars may still be open. But even by the time you get back into town at this point, you got quite a ways out.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a ways. You got a ways out. So especially on foot, by the time you get back into town and start looking around, it's late.
Okay.
You guys did this venture at night, so
Yeah.
your options at this point are limited.
I'm gonna go into the first bar that I do see open and go up to the bartender and just say, "Do you guys have a wheel that I can buy?"
Excuse me?
Oh, that's like a wagon wheel. It's weird, I know, but ours.
No. This is an inn, not a wheelwright.
If you guys don't have a stable or anything, that
No.
people.
No. There's a stable a ways down, but at this point, it's closed. And even then, they don't deal with wheels.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. And I'm gonna go back to our wagon, then
Okay.
wheelless.
Alright, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Now babyless. That makes it easier. Okay, so you went to town and are on your way back. 2 of you are going to be left for, given what he's doing, probably a couple hours. So, what do the 2 of you do in the meantime? Mm-hmm.
If we look around, is there anything to see?
Guess give me a perception check. What specifically are you looking for, I guess?
Just, I know the wagon's there in the road
Mhm.
that's sort of leading out of town, but not what else is in the vicinity of the area we're in.
Okay. Go ahead and, I guess, give me a perception check.
17.
Okay, and I'm not altogether familiar with Kenku, but you don't have night vision, I don't believe, or dark vision. Okay. So yeah, it's pitch black outside. You guys waited until the deliveries arrived, so you can't see far. But what you can see is the road you were on is it's a stone road. It's been cobblestone type put together, and along the edges you'll see the occasional tree, occasional building. It's just kind of the town dwindling out as you get further and further away from the main hub. But beyond that kind of stuff, some shrubs here and there, there really isn't much to see. At least in the limited lamplight that you have.
Gotcha.
Anything else?
I'm gonna pull the.
I just realized we have absolutely no music. Go ahead.
I'm gonna pull one of the guys out and put him under the lamplight in the wagon.
Okay.
I whip up my disguise kit and put makeup on him.
Nice.
I'm gonna make him party.
Okay, that ought to be nice and subtle in the background. Oop, that's a little too subtle. So you literally just hauled him out to decorate. Which one did you pull out?
The one that told me I couldn't knock him out when I did.
So, Tim?
Tim.
Okay. This guy's a bit bigger build-wise. You can see why he's probably a little bit cocky. Okay, so you are practicing your makeup skills on Tim.
I'm playing his harmonica in his ear.
With your beak.
The smashed up harmonica.
Really talented with the harmonicas.
Okay, so we got a little show on the side of the road. He actually starts to stir between what the two of you are doing.
Tickle, tickle.
What the hell?
Morning, pumpkin. Did you sleep well?
Get off of me!
That's not what you said last night.
Disgusting bird. You, by the way, have no idea how to play this instrument, so it's just kind of...
Even better, maybe we can irritate him into a confession.
What do you... Get off, I said. Give me back my harmonica.
I'm not giving him back his harmonica.
I figured that by the face.
Mine now.
Go. Get out of here.
You're not getting out of those restraints.
You sure about that?
I'm positive. You see, in my field of practice, I use rope for many things. I know how to tie a knot.
It's not about tying a knot. It's about how good the ropes are. You see him start straining. And you actually see him manage to pull his arms quite a lot further than you would think he should be able to with the ropes tying his hands.
I'm gonna bite him.
Okay.
He's trying to get away.
Okay. I guess roll with advantage.
Roll again.
You roll again.
Oh, or worse.
Take the 5.
He manages to move aside as you try to do it. He's not immobile anymore, so
Oh, okay.
he's restrained. That's why you get the advantage, but he's able to move around a little bit now.
Right.
So you went to bite him, and he managed to pull away a little bit. Get that bird away from me! What the? You see him strain again, and he gets, it almost looks like a little bit further. He's essentially trying to Hulk out of the ropes. Come on. You gotta move a little bit faster than this.
Okay. You know, even if you were to get free, you're not gonna go anywhere.
No, I'm gonna bash your head in. Using the bird.
You would harm me.
Ugh, you tied me up. Nobody ties me up.
Well, apparently somebody tied you
You can actually start seeing his wrists around the edge of his back. He's starting to make headway on this.
I'm not back yet, right?
Nope.
Okay.
No pressure points that I can use against him?
Oh, probably. You're a monk.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking like anime style, you're going to poke him in one spot, he suddenly goes limp like a fish. But you know spots you can hit him to knock him unconscious again, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how monks fight, so yes.
Now listen, if you get free of those ropes, I'm just gonna have to knock you out again, and I don't think either of us want that, do you?
If I get free of these ropes, you won't have a chance.
You think you're faster than I am?
I think I'm stronger than you are. And that's better.
Have it your way.
Okay. Roll to attack. You got advantage.
16?
16? Yeah, that'll do. He's not particularly dexterous, nor does he wear armor. Beyond just maybe some hide stuff, or thin leather, but
Okay.
he slumps over again.
Okay.
No, you don't have to roll damage.
I'm like, it's not lethal. I just want to knock him out again.
I get you.
I'm going to push him down and retie him.
Okay. You do see some of the ropes have started to fray. He was effectively working his way through these ropes.
Do we have any more rope in the wagon?
Yeah.
A few little odds and ends here. Mostly it looks like they're short ends to tie down the tarp. Now, like I said before, this wagon's mostly empty because they were dropping stuff off.
Could we use the broken wagon wheel to immobilize him? Like just stuffed it over his head or something?
That thing is pretty well shattered. You made it into firewood. No, this thing needs some time in the shop.
The wagon shop?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's a wagon, right? Anyway.
I don't know any mechanics in this town.
Okay, so eventually Emmerich makes his way back to you.
And I didn't probably see any of that, right? Like by the time I got back.
Yeah, by the time you get back.
The way I left it for the most part.
She's sitting back on him, I imagine, drawing more designs on his face.
A little bit.
Okay.
Play a little more harmonica.
Okay, well I'm gonna come back then. Yeah, so it's the middle of the night and no places are open to buy a wheel. Also, I don't know where I would get a wheel. Anyways, I think it was a good idea, but maybe not at this time of night. I think we have to leave the wagon. I think we have to just leave these people here. We can take one of them with us, maybe. Maybe the leader, the shifter guy. Maybe a night's rest will so feral. But then we can question them better. But these other guys, I don't even know if they know anything, even if they were to tell us anything.
Fair enough.
I'm a little nervous that they will go to the town, the city watch, but they probably are into some illegal things, so they probably won't do that. I'm gonna write him a note. I'm gonna write a note that says, if you go to the authorities, we'll hunt you down and kill you. And leave it with them. No? You don't think that's a... Okay. Well, then I'll take that piece of paper and put it in my pocket. We gotta do something. Alright.
Okay, well. We could leave 2 of the unconscious here. Untie them. Maybe put some bottles around them, make them think that they drunk themselves to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can hide the dead body someplace in the bushes. And, yeah. We'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take the dead guy and put him in the bush. Try to hide it well. Puff the
Conceal
bush,
it.
Conceal it, puff the bush up or whatever. Start untying the other guys. I'm sure,
Let's see character sheet real quick.
me?
Yes. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, untie him.
Give me a survival check.
Oh man, I'm rolling so bad.
Oh, hey, that reminds me.
Oh yeah, that's right, we have our tokens.
Forgot to re-roll these for today. Dungeons and Dragons. Isn't it fun? For those of you that have not watched before, what I've just placed out on the table is our players get these tokens. Got wooden runes, or they're wooden, and they've got runes burned into them. And they can turn these in for a reroll, either for their die or my die that's used against them. And I have just rolled what are called my stealth dice. You can't read the numbers that are on them, unless you look at like just the right angle. Unless I shine a black light on them, and there's one in the tip of this pen. So they have a chance to change fate up to twice in this game from the start. They can earn more later on. So if, for instance, right now Emmerich Sidar wants to change his fate, he could turn in a token, and we can see what happens.
Yeah, I always have leftovers because I never use them, so I'll use one.
Okay.
Sure.
Hand it in, and roll me a d4.
1.
Okay. And you're wanting to replace a d20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is a 7.
Well, it was better than what I had before. Do I still add my proficiency
Yes.
to it, or my skills? So then that'd be a total of 10.
Okay. So you do a middling job of hiding the body. You push it off into a bush and cover it up with some stuff.
Okay.
And at this time of night, that looks like it's a fairly good job.
Yeah. I'm sure the dwarf has some bottles on him, empty bottles, maybe. No, he doesn't.
No, in the back of the wagon there were some.
There were some, yeah.
Okay, got it. So untie them. We'll do that. I think what we want to do is untie the shifter also, and so we can carry him back and just say he drank too much. But if we carry him back and he is tied up, that looks weird.
That might look a little suspicious.
Yeah. So we'll do that also. Untie the shifter, fling him over my shoulder, and I guess we'll start making our way back to the inn. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
And if the shifter does start to wake up, we'll, yeah.
Okay.
Again. But
You do have to do it once along the way. He starts moving on your shoulder. Just you have to whack him.
Before we leave, I'm going to forcibly make the two unconscious guys on the wagon drink a couple of my vials.
Okay.
the tonic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark off 2. Okay, and then I guess you guys are probably, well, what are you doing as you come back to town?
What do you mean? Like,
Marching
as
order?
we're walking, or yeah, like a marching order, or what?
Can you mute your phone?
It is muted.
Then whose is buzzing on the table?
I turned mine off.
It's
So.
buzzing, but it's muted.
That's what I mean. It gets picked up on the mics. I'm sorry. Anyway,
Like, I guess okay. Well,
are you just strolling through the middle of town?
I mean, I think we should act like stumbling, like we were drinking. Maybe we were out late drinking. Yeah. So we'll.
Is the dwarf singing a song
He
to kind
may-
of add to the effect? Or?
He may actually be drunk. Yeah.
Well, he's been a while since he's been a bottle, so maybe,
Okay.
maybe not.
Can I ask, what do we look like right now?
That's a good question.
He hammer smashed a guy. I'd imagine he has blood all over him.
Nah, he's got a bit.
Should probably wash up before marching through town.
All right. I mean, I got into a bar fight, maybe, but sure, I can do that.
Well, if you got into a bar fight and took no punches, I think that's a little hard to believe.
Where are you gonna wash up at?
It's a good question. Is there a well anywhere? Outside of town? Near town?
Maybe near town.
No, I mean, I think it's not that unbelievable if I have some blood on me and I fought a guy. Maybe I fought this guy.
I think maybe you could use a fat lip.
I knew that was coming.
I mean, my reaction would probably be to try to dodge it, so.
Okay.
Just out of pure reaction, yeah.
Well, if you want to try to hit him, you got to roll an attack.
Nope.
So she takes a swing at you, but you easily step aside from it.
Alright.
It was 13.
Yeah, no, that doesn't beat. Alright, hold on. I don't... Alright, fine.
Just stand still and let me hit you. I'd need to roll.
If he's gonna stand there and take it, I don't think so.
No, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Or we could use the cosmetics you have to fake a black eye. Oh.
Full damage.
Okay.
I don't have a lot. Be gentle.
It's an unarmed hit. I rolled a 1.
For a monk, that's not saying anything.
Unarmed. 1d4 plus 4. Okay, so that's non-lethal.
You
Yeah, I mean, I'm not unconscious. I have 1 hit point left, though.
your head is spinning at this point.
Okay. So then I will...
Definitely act drunk.
Yeah. Better? Are we better?
Much better. I feel better.
Alright, let's...
Oh, my turn! And the dwarf is going to try to take a swing at you.
Oh,
Yeah, he misses.
okay. I'm too out of it to have a witty comeback. I guess we'll walk back to stumble back
Stumble back to the hotel.
to
room.
the inn, to our inn. Yeah.
Okay. If you guys are trying to put on a show like you are drunk, I need some performance checks.
This is my specialty.
Not everybody in your party is, though.
Can I have advantage?
You have proficiency.
Can I have advantage of my proficiency?
No, but you can take the reroll if you want. Give me D4.
2.
2.
2.
You guys get all the easy numbers. Okay, fine. You get the D20 out there. Here, I'll just hand this to you. You guys don't get any of the fun stuff.
That's an 11.
Okay. Just go ahead and reroll it.
It's a 17.
17?
I got a 14.
11.
Okay. You guys managed to pull off the staggering enough, especially with the help of the dwarf, to make it back to your inn with only a few looks. Yeah, that's about the most that you get. It's luckily pretty deserted out, and it is about the right time for you to be stumbling home from the bar. So.
Did we catch what the shifter's name is?
Boss.
I don't think we have a name for him now. I didn't write anything down, at least.
I only heard them refer to him as boss, so.
Them. The one guy that you actually managed to get to speak.
Me too.
The other one didn't tell you anything, though.
She said that guy's name is Tim.
No, that's the guy talking about that you did get information from.
Oh, yeah.
Good or bad, you got information from him. It's the other guy that you painted his face and got no information out of. You got more out of the dead guy than you did out of that one.
When we finally make it back to the room, I'll tie him back up. Yeah.
Let me.
Okay. I'll let her tie him back up.
Okay.
I'm gonna tie him to the bed. You know, like this.
Are you actually suspending him or just arms and legs up a bit?
Arms and legs.
He's
Okay.
gonna be sore in the morning.
Know from experience? You know what? I don't want to know.
Okay. Give me a dexterity check plus proficiency. Just want to see how well you managed to time up. D4.
2.
All right. Okay. Okay, so you managed to tie him up.
we should rest at least a little bit. I don't know if we can long rest, or sleep until morning time, but at least a short rest.
At this point, I'm sure it's coming on to morning time.
Pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Um,
Especially dragging a body back that whole way on foot. You guys are...
mhm.
Exhausted,
Yeah.
hurting.
Well, I'll keep watch for now. Everyone else kind of take a little snooze, and
If anyone needs sleep, it's you.
I'll be alright. Fine. Keep a close eye on them.
Will do.
I mean, we have a couple of different rooms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whichever room we're not in, I'll go to one of our other rooms.
Okay.
And I mean, a short rest is what I'm going for, but I don't know.
To actually heal up, you'll need a long rest.
Well, no, I mean I can do a short rest and do my hit die, right?
Right, you could. With what you guys are doing, so long as he doesn't end up, like, jumping up,
Mm-hmm.
even with you guys taking turns and shifts on keeping an eye on him, you can get a long rest over the course of the next 8 hours. So you'll be starting off a little bit later than a normal day tomorrow morning, but you could take a long rest at this point.
Okay, I mean here's in my head, I would go into the other room with the intention of not doing that, but I may end up doing that, like sleeping.
You take a short rest, that's what you take.
I know, but like narratively, like, once you fall, like
Okay,
if you go for like you go to
One of those
sleep,
days. I'm just gonna go take a half an hour nap. I'll be all right, and then you just fall asleep for the next 12 hours.
Yeah, kind of like that. So I'm gonna sleep for 8 hours unless someone comes up and wakes me up, or 7 hours or whatever.
Okay. Two of you can rotate shifts at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, you guys make it through the night uneventfully at this point.
Yeah, when I wake up, go back into the other room.
Okay.
So did I miss anything? Sorry I slept for so long.
You needed it. No, just been out.
Alright, well, should we wake him up or let him wake up naturally? He's gotta be waking up pretty soon anyways, I imagine.
Maybe.
I missed a book. Damn. Oh well.
I'll try jostling him lightly. Just like a little nudge, not to see if he wakes up, but if he doesn't, I'll do something after.
His eyes slam open, and he's just staring straight at you.
Good morning. How you doing? How do you feel? Do you speak common? He's not doing anything?
No, he's just staring at you.
Take some...
He does speak common. I know that, right? Because I heard him talking to Melvin.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you need some water? I'm gonna take some water and try to give it to... Oh, he's laid back, right? So...
Well, I figured the way you described the way he's tied up, his arms and legs are elevated, but his body is actually still laying down on the bed. Otherwise, you probably would have needed some help suspending a guy this big.
I was trying to suspend him.
That's why I'm saying, otherwise you would have needed some help.
Do you want some water? Do you need some water? And I'll try to pour him into his mouth.
He'll take it, but he's still just staring at you.
Okay. We know what's going on. and I'm gonna look over at my companions and see if they want to jump in and have anything to say. I'm not good at this. My character is not good at this, I would say.
No, I'm pretty sure you just said that out loud, just in the middle of the room. I'm not any good at this.
Maybe I did. He probably would have actually, yeah.
Henrik, why don't you go find us some coffee?
Okay, sure. I'll go down and do that and get some food also.
Okay.
Alright. I'm gonna take over this interrogation.
Fair enough.
Now you have two options. And right now, it's pretty much the only choice you have.
As he leaves, his gaze snaps from Emmerich to you, and just his head doesn't even move, just his eyes just dart to you, and it's just staring straight at you.
Now, you can tell us what we want to know, and we might let you go. Or I knock you out again until you do tell us what we want to know. Choice is yours.
I'm blinking. He's not blinking. He's just staring. I just can't do that. He's just staring at you.
Okay. What?
You just roll the hit. Well, you don't roll the hit. Roll for damage.
Non-lethal.
Seven.
7.
You clock him and he comes straight back, staring at you again. He's still awake. You guys had a long rest. He had a long rest too.
Okay. I really don't want to hit you. This would be so much easier if you just talked. I know you can.
Give me a diplomacy check.
Persuasion?
Oh, that's right. Diplomacy is something. Yeah, persuasion. This is why I have to grab your character sheet every once in a while to go, what are the rolls again?
10. I'm proficient in it. I just really suck at rolling today.
I'm not rolling well either.
What do you want to know?
Where are you getting the goods that you're selling to Melvin?
Why? So you can take over?
No. We don't want to take over.
It doesn't matter. I get it where I get it.
Are you robbing graves?
Chop. Rob graves. Keisha no.
Who's Kesha?
He starts saying something in a language you don't understand.
What language?
Shifter.
They have their own language?
It's a language of his tribe,
Okay.
essentially. I've made a few sub-languages, basically. Regional dialects, if you will. I don't know. Which ones are you proficient in?
Primordial?
It's definitely not primordial.
Common?
Okay, he shifted under common. In all fairness to you, this almost sounds like a twisted form of Dwarvish.
Okay.
Well, the dwarf knows dwarvish.
Does he understand him?
He's not there.
Oh.
Where is he?
Oh, you just noticed your dwarf is missing.
Where'd he go?
Well, he went off to sleep, but has not returned.
He's probably still sleeping. Or drinking.
Or both. Shifts.
Possibly both at the same time. Who knows? Sleep drinking.
It's the opposite of day drinking.
Yeah. And now we find out what happens when you guys don't show up to sessions. I won't do anything too horrible. Just a little horrible.
Have I made it back yet, or
Yeah, probably by this point.
so he's talking now? I guess I've heard him. You got him?
You're just coming in the door about now.
Okay. You got him talking?
A bit.
I'm gonna give him like a scone or something, whatever I have.
Just
you know?
shove a scone in his mouth
Well,
as he's
you know, just like,
Mom!
Have one.
just like, yeah,
Hey, these are pretty good. Try it.
put it in front of him so he can eat it.
He's tied up.
I know his mouth works, doesn't it?
So you're shoving it in his mouth because he's tied up, laying back.
Yeah.
He's not upright. He's
Uh-huh.
Just by sconing.
I put it in front of his mouth, like if he wants to bite it. You scone?
You see a little bit of the hair starting to come out again, and see points of teeth starting to come down.
No.
And then he just, as you are holding it there, he just takes this massive chomp, almost getting your hand in it too.
Okay. Into the scone.
He bites the scone, but he almost gets your hand.
Okay.
He's clearly going for like a bite attack here, but
Yeah.
doesn't
yeah.
quite have the range of motion to get there.
Okay. So I'm gonna take it. Whatever he didn't bite, then I'll just put it down. Take it. Move my hand. Put it down.
He starts just chuckling at you, bits of scone coming out of his mouth.
Listen, we don't want to do you any. We mean you no harm. Further harm.
I'm just staring at him.
We just want to know where you're getting the goods and how you are getting them.
And I don't want nobody encroaching on my territory.
We have no interest in your territory or your business. I'm going to point to each of us. Do we look like the type of people who want to become merchants and vendors?
But who are you working for?
Who are you working for?
Myself. Thank you very much.
And we are working for ourselves in a way as well.
You don't look like the do-good type for do-good, right? English is hard. You don't look like the do-good type for just no good reason. You're getting paid.
Maybe.
So who's doing the paying?
Don't know if that's important right now.
Oh, but it is.
Well, I think, judging from where your current situation, I think your questions aren't as important as mine. It's really, a simple question. Where are you getting the goods?
I have my sources.
And they are?
I have a team. A team that goes out and scouts for the cheapest prices we can find anywhere. There. Does that answer your questions?
Well, tell me about this team. How do you know these men?
They work for me.
Not anymore.
You're talking about the idiots in the wagon. Those three are just local boys. I just needed the extra hands for the night. You often?
What's up to you?
Oh, good for you. Knocked out a couple of local tavern boys. Just means I don't have to pay him. Thanks, love. You did me a favor.
Does he have a coin purse on him?
Probably.
You mean pay him with this?
Hey! That's private!
I'm gonna just dump it out on him and start counting.
Hey! Oh, no, that's just not right. Can I have that back?
Does he have anything else shiny or valuable on him?
He's got a belt buckle that looks pretty shiny.
Start pecking at that.
Yeah.
He has hands. He has hands.
I don't really want to touch his belt buckle. It's fine.
Hey! Come on now! Must be life savings.
This is your life savings?
Well, not all of it. But it's enough. Give it back. I worked hard to earn that.
You want your money back, you gotta give me answers.
Oh, just leave off. I'm not answering anything while I'm tied up like this.
And how smart of it would it be for us to untie you?
It's 3 against 1, love. How smart do you think it'll be?
Do we see any
Insight check.
Go for it.
Roll higher than a 4. That's higher than a 4.
How much higher than a 4?
Insight, what's insight? 5. 15.
15. Okay. You can tell that he appears to be in earnest as far as he doesn't want to fight you. He's a shifty kind of guy, not just because he's a shifter, but he's hard to narrow down as far as what is possibly the truth and what is not, but he does seem earnest with the fact that he's not going to try to fight you. He seems concerned about that. He also seems very uncomfortable in being tied up like this.
Okay. Alright, well, I will... go stand by the door.
Okay.
Lock the door. I will untie him.
Okay, you give me a perception check.
Can I aid? Can I be also?
You're standing by the door.
Yeah, but I mean, alright. Sure. Fine.
21.
Okay, you notice as you're untying him, you get like his legs undone. You go up to get his hands, and you realize that both of them, the ropes are scored. He's been cutting at them. Well, can't blame a lad for trying. You see his claws retract, and he becomes less hairy again.
I'm gonna grab him by the face. You best behave.
I behave as I always do. Self-preservation. What? You got me tied up on a bed. No one knows but what you're going to take advantage of a lad.
That's my speciality.
And that's what worries me.
So will you finally give us answers?
It's like rubbing at his wrist. What do you want to know?
Where the goods come from?
They come from these small towns up the road a ways. We find the goods cheap and sell them cheap.
Find them cheap.
Yeah.
You buy them cheap or you find them cheap? There are two.
What's the difference?
There's much difference.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Is this a thieves guild of sorts?
Well, I'm not stealing from anybody.
No, but your team.
No, they're not stealing. And we're not grave robbers. Hang on. Where's my hat?
Is he wearing a hat?
I don't remember a hat.
You bloody knock me out on the road and then don't grab my hat.
It may still be there.
It was dark.
You owe me a hat.
Well, I'm sure
He's
you can
getting
get,
very sullen at this point.
I'm sure you can get one for cheap.
Oh, ha ha.
Haha, life savings.
I rub it in. Yeah, he starts muttering again in that language that you don't quite catch.
You want to? I think I'm still at the door. Should we ask him to take us to his warehouse? Will you take us to your warehouse?
Warehouse?
You don't even. You have a base of operations, an office, something of the sort.
Thieves then?
Leave off with the thieving. I'm no thief.
Then prove it well.
But then I'll have to show you where I get them. And then you'll go into business.
We're not going into business, son.
With the people you work for. Hey, if you're gonna question me, you might as well make it worth my while.
Do I look like someone that needs your gold?
He starts looking you up and down. No, but I'll tell you what you do look like. Maybe not.
Don't flatter me, hun.
I was gonna yell out. Use your words wisely.
Look, alright, it's a trade secret. I don't want to give it away. The point is, we acquire the goods cheap, we sell them cheap, merchants make a penny, turn around and buy more from us. That's the point. Goods won't last forever at this price, so I move them while I can. Is there any crime in that?
Why do you sell to Melvin? Because he's not in the Merchants Guild?
Oh, he's not, is he? And that explains why he's willing to buy at the prices we're selling. Everybody else turned up their noses. Assumed we were grave robbers.
You do give off that vibe.
I don't take kindly to that.
You also sell used goods.
You said that.
I did. I was
Well,
bought something from Melvin.
with
and
no proof, I just say you're full of it.
You should have kept the shirt, maybe.
Probably. But
Is this all about that bloody shirt?
It's not just about that. Why don't
You're
you
the
tell-
lot that bought the bloody shirt and returned it and now caused all that fuss.
idea.
Let there be light.
Well, tell us, where did you get that shirt? Let's start there.
I got it from a market up the road a ways. I don't remember which one. And I'm going to go back and have words with them.
Can we tell if he's lying?
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah.
That's better. 20, not natural.
21.
8. I'm gonna put that die over there.
So, for you, this guy's as honest as the day sun.
Mm-hmm.
For the two of you, he's tiptoeing around something he doesn't want to say. Yep. And with that, I think we're going to take a quick break. For one, we've got a baby screaming upstairs. And two, we've been at this for over an hour now. So that's good. We'll get some refreshments, and we'll be back for round 2 here in just a few minutes. And we're back. Hopefully you had a nice little break there. We've got some refreshments.
I have beer.
You do. Brewed by Hop Topics, which members of our community might remember. He was one of our hosts for a little while.
It's good.
Good.
Does it taste like a cinnamon bun?
Well, I can't taste anything.
Oh.
So, it
got a
tastes-
glowing
You
review.
think it's good?
It tastes like good beer, yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So where we left off there before the break, you were interrogating this shifter. Go.
And I thought he was truthful when he said that he doesn't steal anything.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys saw through that.
Yeah. These smaller merchants. How small are we talking?
I didn't say anything about smaller merchants.
He said,
Oh, smaller towns.
yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
So if you don't steal, and you don't grave rob,
Mm-hmm.
I still am trying to wrap my brain about how you're able to get this stuff so cheaply. Are there other merchants in these smaller towns
You go to
that
a fence. You buy your goods off a fence.
Why would I go to a fence? What is a bunch of boards along the side of the road going to do me any good for? Don't give me that look. This one's crazy.
I'm trying to wrap my brain about how these small town merchants, or wherever you get your so-called goods, how they make any money if you're able to sell them for so cheap.
I never said I was in it to make them money.
But they're in it to make money.
I suppose they would have to be.
Excuse us one moment. Sidebar. We have this little sidebar here.
Okay.
Go in like the opposite corner of the room. But I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
Doing a huddle.
Do you think? I mean, do you think it's good enough if we just get him to no longer sell to Melvin? Do we have to know, what, how he gets his goods?
Well, we don't want to put Melvin out of business. But he shouldn't be buying from a sketchy dude.
Yeah. I like, because,
You see him darting for the window.
Take a dart and throw it at him.
and I'm gonna go and tackle him also.
That's an 11 to hit.
You miss. But he gets to the window, throws it open before you can get to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks outside, closes the window, turns around and goes sits back next to the bed.
Is he scared of heights?
Didn't know we were up quite that high. Pardon, just needed some air.
Yeah.
D&D books.
Are we gonna have to tie you back up?
No, I'm good.
That insight check. Is he good? 13.
He seems content to sit on the bed now.
Okay.
No, I don't want to be that player, but I'm going to be that player. Windows?
Yeah.
We're in a building that's supposed to be sealed.
Yep.
How were there windows?
It was locked shut. It shouldn't have been something he opened, but he went over and overrid the lock and opened it up.
So now is there an alarm system going off?
No. You're not in that fancy of a place.
Did the room fill up with smog and smut? Or?
It's more you felt air leave the room as he opened it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Got it.
So he closed it fairly quickly after deciding not to jump out the window.
Mm-hmm. So you were just gonna jump out there?
Nope, I'm good.
Risk getting black lung?
No. Never touch the stuff.
Never touch the stuff. I mean, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
What's it gonna take for you to stop selling to Melvin?
Why would I want to do that?
See, we have a problem. And by we, I mean this entire city.
I'm listening.
There's an uproar in the merchants. Because Melvin is selling at such low prices, they're putting everyone out of business, which is now...
Oh, the Merchants Guild has got their panties in a twist. How's that my problem?
It is messing with the economy of the city.
It'll bounce back. Always does. Capitalism, love. You find a way to sell cheaper. You outsell the competition. Then you rate... Excuse me. Then you raise the prices again. That's the way it always goes.
So maybe you should start doing that to Melvin.
Why? We got a good thing going.
Well, then he has to pay you more.
Right, and he's not interested in buying as much then.
Then where is he going to get his goods? Because I'm telling you right now, he's not going to get it from anyone else in the city. He's not part of the Merchants Guild. They won't trade their trade secrets with him.
And I'm not trading mine with you. Excuse me.
Good, that's going.
I guess. Look, I'll tell you what. You let me go, and I won't breathe a word at this.
That's not quite enough.
What? You want to get arrested for kidnapping and assault? On the main road? Surely, educated folk like yourselves know there's a pretty hefty fine for something like that. Possibly even imprisonment.
Yes, well, the way we saw it was you and your drunken buddy.
Oh, I was assaulted on the main road, officer. They stole me hat and all me goods.
You had no goods to steal.
Semantics. They won't know that. They'll just see it's gone. Game, set, and match. Now, if you'll excuse me.
And how do you explain the dead body you have tied up in the back of the wagon? Your wagon.
Oh, when they robbed me, they killed my men. It's a criminal offense. You should hang them all. Good day. He's opening up the door.
No. I'm gonna step in front of the door. and-
Excuse me there, Brutus. But I've got places to be.
Have a seat on the bed.
I sat long enough, thanks.
Have a seat on the bed.
And why would I do that?
Because we're not done talking to you.
I'm done. You've wasted enough of me time.
I'm gonna.
Now, if you don't want me to start screaming, you best let me go.
I was gonna. Okay. Well.
Go for it.
22 to hit.
Now that'll hit.
Seven.
7?
Mhm.
Would you stop doing that?
And a kick to the head.
Nope.
That's a critical fail.
So as you do that, he actually grabs your foot, wraps it up, and twists it around, so now you're off balance. Yeah, pretty much. And he leans back and pins you to the floor with it.
But honey, you haven't bought me dinner yet.
This would be fun another time, but I must go, and you must stop hitting me in the head. And he's going to take just a rib shot at you. He's not doing it hard enough that it does any damage, but enough to make you wince. Gets up. Oh, generally have a policy not hitting women, but this is getting ridiculous. Now, out of my way, I'm leaving. Ah, bloody hell, psycho.
Can I trip him?
Roll to hit.
Mm, 14.
14 hit. My stat blocks are in the other book. Yeah, you hit.
That'd be considered unarmed, right?
Yeah.
7 points of damage.
Actually, I don't know what I'm rolling that for. Yeah, you manage to... You knock his feet out from under him, he hits the deck, and you knock him unconscious.
Okay, I'm gonna drag him back over, put him back on the bed.
Okay.
We gotta tie him up again, or?
No. I am gonna sit on him and wait for him to wake up.
Okay. Well, while he's asleep, what's our next move? What's our next play?
And we can't have him going to the guard.
No, but we also don't know that he's doing anything wrong. I mean, he said he doesn't steal from people or grave rob.
This is his quiet complaining voice. Something is wrong, and I want you to know it, but... It's not enough for full-blown tears yet. Anyway. Okay. There for a minute, I had this horrible thought that I hadn't actually hit the record button. That was going to drive me crazy.
But you are.
We are. We're
We
recording.
are. This is recorded. Good.
You know, we're getting the baby yells. You want to maybe get a bottle for him and I'll hold it? Okay. Come here, love. I'm just having too much fun with this acting. All right. We'll just chill here. Wait for mom. What do you think? No. No. Okay.
Ronan, what do you think?
About what we should do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this guy is not getting. I don't know. How do I speak as this Raven?
That becomes a question everybody's got to ask themselves. How do I speak as my character? This guy couldn't figure it out forever. He was flopping accents in our previous campaign.
No information.
Yeah. No information is right. I'm sure he knows more than he's letting on to.
Knows more.
Should we... I mean, if we let him go, should we follow him? Will he even let, yeah, should we follow him? Should we... Yeah, I don't know. Should we go this from Ronan's route? Not Ronan's route. Melvin's route and talk to Melvin about the person that he's getting stuff from.
Just you guys.
Follow.
Okay. Yeah, we should try to do that. Miss Joel's probably the easiest one, but will be the best at trying to follow him. She does stand out, though. I mean, we all stand out for various reasons.
Just picture Ronan sitting there preening himself and then just... like, what the hell, dude? Okay. You alright, buddy? Yeah, okay, good.
What if we tell Ronan... Why do I keep on saying Ronan? What if we tell Melvin... They both end in an N, I suppose. Not to buy from him anymore. Tell Melvin that this guy, does grave rob or steal some people, even if it's not true, and maybe Melvin will stop buying from him.
Why Melvin care?
Because he still wants to... I think he seems pretty, good-hearted, like, upright citizen. We were saying, should we let him leave, the shifter leave, and follow him? Should we tell Melvin that we think this guy grave robs and steals from people, even if that's not true? You still may be able to tell Melvin to not buy from him anymore. I think we could try to follow him, but he's not gonna make it easy. He's just not just gonna go straight to his office or whatever he has. I don't know.
You guys' call. Da 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 da.
Well, we got-
da, da.
We had a little bit of time. This guy is knocked out, right? So, I don't think he's waking up this second.
I don't think he's gonna willingly give us any more information. Seems like he's pretty much done with that.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, you said that so elegantly, Ronan. I'm just playing.
I don't know. I already vote. follow. Let him go and follow.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that then.
What if he goes to the guard?
I mean, it's his word against ours. I mean, there is a lot of evidence at the scene of the crime.
Hmm.
But it's not like... I don't know. I don't think he's gonna go to the guard. I think he has too much self-preservation to do that. I don't think he wants to get them involved in looking deeper into whatever he does.
You tell guard he get caught.
Exactly. Alright, I guess we can let him go and follow him then.
Looking outside the window, is there anything like I could suspend him from?
Not easily.
I'd say it had to be easy.
No.
Damn.
I like where your brain's at, but no, the outside of this building's fairly flat. Unless you can get into like a window above it or something to hook up there or something. Or get all the way to the roof.
What are you thinking?
I think we tie him up, hang him out the window till he gives us the answers we're looking for. Because he's clearly afraid of heights.
Okay. I mean, people might see us. Right?
It is middle of the day.
I look out the window, are there like, is it open to a street or is it?
Yeah, it's a busy intersection.
I was hoping to be like an alley or another wall of another building. Oh, okay then. Fine, I guess we can follow him.
Not saying you can't intimidate him, I'm just saying. It's a busy street.
Is this dude awake yet?
He's starting to stir again.
Okay. I guess that's what we'll do. We'll let him go.
Okay.
Is everybody ready to follow him?
Take some eyeliner and write "I'm a leper" on his head.
As you start, he jolts awake and he completely fags out. Just you see his teeth drop and his hair just explode out from his head.
It's a neat trick.
And he's gonna attempt to bite you. No. But he's trying to buck you off of him.
Did I get any of the words out?
You get that. You get that out as he's attempting to bite you.
Okay. So it says I'm a leper.
Oh, I thought you meant. Roll a sleight of hand.
$14.
Right now it says I'm a lep. It just says
Okay, well, I'm gonna step out from like in front of the door Yeah. So the door is there. It's open. Not open, but it's unguarded, I suppose.
After he bucked you off, he's standing there just kind of panting, looking around frantically. He's gone full primal at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, he might not be thinking straight. Maybe he will go straight to his...
He saw you. He sees you step aside. He suddenly pulls back up to his full height. Hair and fangs retract again. Thank you very much. I'll be on my way. Straightening out his coat.
I'm gonna toss him his coin purse with all the coins put back in.
He definitely catches it and just ties it off to his belt without looking back.
Right when he gets to the door and he's about to leave, I'm just gonna put my arm out real quick, and stop him and say, I really hope... No, not I really hope. I said...
Well, then say what you want to say.
It's probably best if we don't get the city watch involved. I don't think...
I'm sure it's the best for you.
I'm sure you don't want them looking into what you're doing either.
I've got nothing to hide.
Prove it.
Oh, you'd love that. Good day. He's walking off and down the stairs.
I mean, we're gonna follow him. Like, yeah. Nonchalantly. When she's gonna be watching for us, but still, we're gonna try to follow.
What's your problem, bud? Okay. We'll take a quick break, get him settled, and then we'll be right back. Alright, there we go. So, you just let him go, he's walking off down the stairs. What do you guys do now?
We're gonna follow him. Like, you know, as he... I don't know how close we should follow, but, like, as he goes down the stairs, we're gonna leave the room and start going. Well, we're gonna follow him. That's what we're trying to do.
Fair enough. I guess give me stealth checks.
Oh, come on.
20, not natural.
11.
13.
Okay.
Does he notice us?
Not that you noticed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna do that to see where he goes
Yeah.
next.
So he starts heading out the same direction. He seems to get down to the street and take a second to look around. Looks up at where you guys were at. Kind of nods to himself and then starts walking off in a given direction. Apparently getting his bearings from where he's at in town.
Mm-hmm.
Once he does that, he's like beelining straight to the exit that you guys would have come back through. He gets there, and as he's getting to the edge of town, he actually stops a couple of town guards and starts gesturing back the way that he came. They seem to say something to him, and then he just starts furiously pointing back in the direction that you guys were.
Duck in an alley. In a hide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you duck in the alley and hide. These two are standing out in the middle of the street as the guards come running that way.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna like turn away from them and start talking to Ronan.
I'm gonna look like I'm interested and nonchalantly listening, like this is what we've been doing for the last 4 hours. We just went for a little jog for a bit prior.
And let them pass.
Mm-hmm. They go running past, and the shifter keeps heading out of town at this point.
We're gonna follow the shifter.
Okay. Eventually, he gets to the spot where you guys had ambushed his cart.
Mm-hmm.
His cart's there,
Mm-hmm.
as well as a few more town guards. Apparently, in the daylight, this is pretty easy to see. There's several gathered around and apparently inspecting it. He seems to hesitate at first, but then goes up to it and starts talking to one of the town guards. Starts pointing and gesturing and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
I want you guys to give me a stealth check at this point.
12. Natural 20.
D4.
One.
Okay.
Ooh, natural 20.
Natural
Oh,
20.
nice.
Okay. So, you guys managed to blend in with the crowd going around. However, you roll me percentile dice.
Okay.
First time this has happened.
Yeah,
You hit my conditions.
yeah, well, I'm looking for the other. There's a two. I'll just use these two. I think I'm missing. Oh, no. Oh, it's right there.
Right there.
71.
Okay. You suddenly feel this swell of magic head over you.
Okay.
Something's different.
Over his, like,
He
on
just
him?
feels a swell of magic through him.
Okay. Does it do anything or? Do
That's
I
all you feel for
it?
now.
Okay.
Do I feel it too?
No.
I rolled a natural 22.
It's not because you rolled the natural 20. It's part of a consequence of turning in one of these and the combination of rolls he got after that.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Do we notice him noticing something?
He almost looks like he just had a cold shiver go over him.
You okay?
I'm fine. Yeah. It was... I'm okay. Nerves, maybe.
I'm gonna, like, look at the bush. The dead body. Is the dead body still there? Does it look like it was
You see several guards over there at this point.
well hidden?
Okay. Were we able to blend successfully? Or?
Yeah, you blended with the crowd. Nobody's pointed you out. There's a crowd gathered around to see what's going on, as well as the standard traffic that's going by. This time of day, it's a very busy road.
Yeah.
But people are getting directed off the trail to make way for what is an ongoing investigation.
Good.
Brigands this close to town, bandits. This is not going to go well.
Okay, what is the shifter doing?
He'd gone up to one of the officers or town guard near the edge of the scene and starts talking to him. He's gesturing. From the distance you guys have to be away to keep from being noticed. You can't make up what he's saying, but he's clearly arguing with the guy, trying to make a point of some kind. Eventually he sees one of the guards further in and he starts yelling at him. Next thing you know, you see him grab a hat out of his hands and shove it on his head. He's got this nice little bowler on his head now. He seems frustrated, but...
Okay.
He found his hat.
Good for him.
Are the guards cuffing him at all? Are they taking him
No.
away?
Yeah.
They seem to be asking him some questions and stuff, in which he's replying to kind of gruffly, but... you see him produce some paperwork out of his shirt, too, and show them some stuff. And they seem to be conferring back and forth.
Okay, well, I mean, I just want to wait until see what happens next. Does he go with the guards? Does he go continue out of town? So continue to blend until then, I guess. Maybe I'm gonna see if I can get a little closer to hear, see if I can hear anything.
About this time, they seem to be wrapping up whatever they were talking about, so it's probably not going to be a benefit to you.
Okay.
It looked like the guard wrote down some information, but otherwise...
Okay.
Since you guys' perception was so high, I'll give you that it seems like he's claiming ownership of the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was there telling them that it's his property and trying to explain what happened from his side. They've taken down some notes, probably his contact information, or what his report is, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys are standing next to a crime scene that you committed. We'll stick with that for now.
Yeah. So then, what happens after the exchange is over?
He gets huffy for a while, but then he seems to be trying to catch another guard's attention. But at this point, they're clearly ignoring him.
Mm-hmm.
It's about now that they pull a body out of the bush, start bringing it over.
I act very surprised and flabbergasted.
Wait, was that one Tim, or was Tim the other unconscious guy?
Tim was the unconscious one that you dolled up.
Right. Which was. Okay.
This is a dead guy. You don't know his name or any pseudonym or anything.
Okay.
So, after a little while, the shifter finally seems to be continuing down the road.
We'll try to join the traffic that's going out of town also to continue to follow him.
Okay. Give me perception checks.
12.
5.
9.
Alright, in this crowd, he eventually loses you. He starts ducking and weaving through the crowd, clearly like he's trying to make sure nobody's following him, and you lose sight of him.
Can we rush ahead, or because we were staying back, a little bit, but after we lose sight, try to rush ahead and see if we can pick him up again.
Sure, you can try.
You rush ahead, I'll go up. I'm gonna try to find a roof I can get up on.
You're far enough out of town that you're not in buildings anymore.
Oh, a tree.
Sure, you can try. Give me an acrobatics. You're trying to climb a tree in a hurry.
18.
18? You scale it easy enough. If you want to rush ahead, give me another perception check.
Kind of, also checking the people as I walk by, one type of thing. Natural 1, so no.
I'll try to rush ahead and get the...
Okay.
16.
16? You catch sight of him as he trips and falls.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, that's
It
fair.
land right on your face. And what should really hurt doesn't. I mean, you feel the smack against the ground, but you would have expected with how you just landed your nose to possibly be bleeding on cobblestone like this. You hardly feel anything.
Okay. Interesting. I'm not going... that's interesting. But I will scurry back to my feet.
Do I see him from my tree?
Give me a perception. You go ahead and... Well,
No.
I doubt you'll need it. Well, roll it with advantage, because you're up higher. He's trying to hide from people on the road.
My advantage was a 4.
You gotta sage your... your
I
dice.
did.
Did. Oh.
Did.
You're too distracted by your fighter friend here falling on his face. Anyway, I was going to share with you
No, it was a 7.
specifically what had just happened to you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that you've actually activated it.
You broke your nose.
You have resistance to all damage currently.
Okay, cool.
That wave of magic you felt go over you was a resistance.
Was I able to figure that out, or?
You just realized you resisted damage that should have
Mm-hmm.
hurt.
Okay.
That should have really hurt.
Yeah. But like no
You're-
idea
you're mildly
why,
uncomfortable.
Or, okay. But I don't know why or where it could have came
Correct.
from or anything. Okay. But now,
Play with fate in this game.
I mean, Ronan saw him, right? You said. Okay.
It's her choice what to do with it. His choice. Keep getting this confused.
I guess I'll try to follow him a little further. I mean, he's in the crowd, right? A crowd of people.
Yeah, he's kind of ducking and weaving through them. The reason you were able to catch him is he at one point kind of stumbled over somebody as he's trying to rush through and lose anybody that might be following him. So you saw him kind of skip out of the crowd and then get back into it, keep moving along.
Okay. So I'll keep following him, I guess.
Okay.
Do I see him following him?
Yeah, you're not trying to be stealthy at this point, right? Then, yeah. A raven person walking through a crowd of people,
Pretty
easier to
obvious.
pick out.
Okay. I'm gonna rush to catch up with him.
Okay.
When I get back to my feet, do I also see Ronan?
You can find Ronan.
Okay.
Or Ronan can find you.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll go to her then.
Okay.
Him. Go to him. I'll get it one of these days.
Yep. So he proceeds down a little ways, and then he turns off on a side trail. Kind of opens up a gate, closes it behind him. Big gate that's made for a cart to pass through.
Mm-hmm.
And proceeds to start walking up this side dirt trail.
Does the gate look locked?
Didn't appear to be. I mean, it's latched with some kind of mechanism, but it didn't look like it was locked.
And is it like a wood gate that we can't see through?
You can see through it. It's not that big. It's like a field gate.
Okay.
Can we see what's past it then?
Yeah.
What's past it?
A field.
Okay. There's not like
Literally.
there's not like a building or
Dirt
something
road,
like.
big field.
It-
Okay.
Dirt road that kind of goes up over this little rise and continues just beyond it.
Okay. It's gonna be really hard to follow him after that. Could we try?
Yep.
Anyways. Okay.
Okay. If you're trying not to be seen, stealth checks.
21.
18.
10.
Okay. So he's kind of heading up the road, dusting himself off after the encounter on the road. He takes his hat off and is adjusting it. He seems to be more interested in his own personal appearance at this point than what's going on around him. But he wanders up over the hill, and you lose sight of him as he crests over the top.
We're gonna be close behind him though, or fairly close to get back over the hill. Do we?
So as you see him head down, or as you guys come up, he's coming down the other side of this hill, and there is a barn there.
Okay.
Older looking barn, kind of run down looking. Let me see. I wrote up a description of it. It appears abandoned and has clearly seen better days. There's what appears to be a massive airlock door on the outside of it that's wide open. It's big enough to move livestock through is the idea of this thing. And you see him come up to it and just look at the door, kind of kick it, and then regret kicking it. And you can kind of hear his voice. He raises it a bit and is yelling in that language again. He starts heading in, and you can see the door shutting behind him. He's clearly like pulling it shut.
Is there any any like trees or anywhere for us to like get behind and like
Take cover.
take cover?
There's a few trees here and there.
Scope the place out a little bit.
Sure.
Now you said this. It looks like an abandoned barn.
Yeah, an older rundown. If it's still being used, it's not being well taken care of.
So I would imagine there's probably holes.
Not really. It's still fairly well put together. It's just, it's got that look of misuse. Just, it hasn't been being used. Nobody's updated the paint on it in a while. The roof's starting to sag just a little bit, but not enough that you're thinking it's broken. Some of the siding is starting to come loose, but nothing that's like whole. Plus, you got to consider that the barns that they made for this are supposed to be airtight. So they're a little bit better put together than like our barns would be, the older barns that we have. So yeah, that's kind of what I mean by it. There are some leaded glass window types, probably to let in light for any livestock that would be in there, but everything appears dark inside.
And it's just the barn? There's
Just
no
the barn.
house?
No house.
Well, at least we know where he's staying now.
Okay. As far as the windows go, are they ground level or?
There's some at ground level. It appears to be at least a 2-story building, possibly 3.
Okay, can I go up to one and peek in?
Sure. It's dark. Roll me a perception check.
It's a 9.
You see. You think you can see his outline moving around. The problem is this is older, thicker, not well made leaded glass. So it's already got kind of a sheen to it, or a darkness to it due to it being leaded. But it's also warped. So seeing anything clearly through it is difficult. But you think you see him moving around inside. But he's not using any light to do so. But that's about all you can make out.
Doesn't look like there's more than one body moving around.
All you can see is what looks like one moving around in there.
Okay.
What do you do?
I'm gonna,
Go back to the trees and tell them.
Okay.
So there appears to be him moving around in there.
Okay.
I can't really see through the windows. It's too dark.
I'm gonna take a lap around the building, see if I can see any other entranceways or ways to get in,
All right.
anything like that.
We'll find out what you find next session. Perfect timing. All right, guys. We will be back next week with even more D&D content and what these guys find at the abandoned barn. And yeah, ought to be exciting. So come back next week for more fun and excitement. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.